secondopinion.org. In today's session, we're going to be discussing an extremely important mineral, but potentially life-saving and potentially life-costing: iron. Iron has caught the eye and the attention of the country as well as the world in many ways recently, as well as in the recent years of the last 20 years. And the reason why is because iron is absolutely necessary for your well-being, but the problem with this, if you get too much, it can actually be detrimental for many, many areas of your body, and that's what we're going to cover. One of the areas that I always cover is the best forms to be able to get iron in. And here's your best form. Glycinate is your best form, I think, by far. Fumarate is next, and gluconate after that. The worst forms are sulfate, which, by the way, are the most common forms given, and it has a tendency to cause GI tract dysfunction, specifically constipation, and many times, in some cases, pain in the colon itself. And many of you that have constipation problems and are given iron, guess what? You really got to be watchful. And if you're given it in a sulfate form, that's even more of an issue. And except for menstruating women, I highly recommend that you look at your multiple vitamin and try to make sure that it doesn't have iron in it, because usually you get plenty with the small amounts you should have. Even in refined foods, have many times enough iron for you. Adding vitamin C to the formula helps enhance its absorption also. So vitamin C with the iron will help, and also help your tummy. And again, iron commonly causes constipation. I just want you to know that. Okay? Just in short order, the dirty secrets about minerals and packaging and misleading. When purchasing iron, you must find out the total amount of the element you're trying to get, and then the total amount that's in the pill that you're taking. And the reason why I say that is, it might say 100 milligrams on it, and it might be, whether it's even the good stuff, it might be iron fumarate. Well, the problem with it is, unless it clearly says that there's, in the 100 milligrams, 90 milligrams of iron, and you need 90 milligrams per tablet, you're okay. But if it doesn't clearly mark it, let me tell you, most of the time you're ending up with maybe only 10 milligrams of iron, and the rest is fumarate. Reason why? It's cheaper to produce. And because they don't have to differentiate that information, you might end up with an element that is not in the dose you need, and thus you don't recover. I've seen many people go through an inordinate amount of other treatments simply because they were taking the wrong dosage, because they were buying a product that was a cheaper product, did not delineate the correct amount of iron in this case, and they weren't taking enough to actually recover. It happens all the time. All the time. So keep that in mind. At Physicians Premium, you'll never see a product that, when you see it labeled B6, iron, calcium, whatever's listed out there is the amount that's in that nutrient. Why? We can't take chances on the well-being of our population and each other. We have to do what's right, and we have to be able to look each other in the eye and know that we've done the right thing. And when it comes to Physicians Premium, every product will do so for you. And there are many others out there like that, just not as many as I would like. Okay? So, know the dirty secret. To be a mineral is important. And what you have to know is it's an organic substance, okay, that is vital for your life. And frankly, if your body's not going to be able to produce it or synthesize it, so if you don't have enough iron in this case, and your body can't produce it, then you'll either have to eat it or supplement it, because you're going to have it on a daily basis. At least you should, okay? So natural forms of iron. I've covered vitamins already, and you've seen this information if you've visited our site at all. But what I cover many times is synthetic versus natural. Well, the truth is, in minerals, there's not such a big issue about synthetic or natural, okay? It's a big issue of how it's carried and the form in which it's in. So just know that when we talk about synthetic and natural in minerals, doesn't matter as much as the form it comes in, okay? The other thing we always talk about is the synergists that help iron get into the system. I can't tell you how many, hundreds of cases of people that are taking all the iron, causing constipation, having problems, and still having a problem with anemia because they had heavy bleeding during their periods, and they just couldn't get on top of it. Plus, they were an athlete, and they were breaking down so many red blood cells, they couldn't keep their iron levels high enough. And guess what? It was just, all we had to do is give them the synergist, vitamin C, B complex, B complex and manganese allowed more iron to get in their system, was utilized faster. And what the real truth is, one case was real interesting. They were B complex deficient. They were on the pill, taking the pill, which induced more B complex deficiency problems. And because that wasn't there, the iron didn't make the red blood cell because it needed some of the B complex. So the person never recovered. We got them on the B complex, vitamin C, manganese with the iron. Did really well for the next 3 or 4 months. They did fine and started healing and did extremely well. Okay? Just so you know, these synergists are extremely important. Okay? I always put up the broccoli. Here's the picture, and now here's the listing of it. And the reason why I do is look at all these elements there. If you're unwilling to eat healthy foods along with supplementation, it's almost useless to supplement. You can't bypass it. I can't make a supplement that's got all this in it. Here, look at this. Look at an apple, and then look at all the things that are in it. I can't make that for you. It's made by God, and it's made in a way that you need it. Okay. The bottom line is, here's that apple. You have to have it in that form, and then supplement beyond that. If you've not looked at Secrets of Vital Health, Secrets of Vital Health breaks down in clear form why probably eating the right kind of fruits and vegetables are important, and why supplementation beyond it is more than likely something you have to consider. But I need you doing this too, or we won't get the positive result, and we won't be able to look each other eye to eye and know that we've done the right thing by each other. Okay? Important stuff. The conditions that are helped specifically by this element: rheumatoid arthritis, cancer, Parkinson's disease, Alzheimer's disease, heart disease, liver disease, infections, all related to overdoses of iron. Just so you know, can actually get worse because of it. On the other side, red blood cell production is important with iron, and it presents a variety of enzymes that act as catalysts to promote energy in your body. If you're fatigued all the time, it might be iron. Athletes, canker sores, Crohn's disease because of the excessive bleeding over a long period of time. Depression, interesting enough, and infertility in women is frequently noted, as well as heavy menstruation. Well, that's the area that you'll need more iron. Okay? Some of the sources: oysters, meats, poultry, fish, dried fruit, interesting enough. It seems to coalesce things like prunes. Extremely good source. Raisins, another really good source. Blackstrap molasses, fabulous. Leafy green vegetables, and by the way, red wines more than white wines. Okay? Has iron in it. The risk groups: menstruating women, mostly heavy menstruating women, pregnant women, vegans. Vegetarians frequently move into iron deficiency, anemia, red blood cell production problems. People who take anti-inflammatories will have problems with iron deficiency. Marathon runners, because they're breaking down so much tissue. And bleeding colon conditions: hemorrhoids, ulcerative colitis, Crohn's disease. If you have extensive problems with it, bleeding, you're going to have problems with not enough iron. Okay? Toxicity symptoms: too much of it, constipation. And here's some of the other possibilities. It can complicate other diseases if you're taking too much iron: diabetes, cancer, increased risk of infection, lupus, and rheumatoid arthritis. Okay? Medications that you might be taking on a consistent basis that will actually interfere with iron. Okay? Osteoporosis medications, we know that also interferes with calcium as a concern. Thyroid support medications, Synthroid, Levo, a few of those. Parkinson's medications. Cancer medications interfere with iron pretty heavily. Antacids and anti-inflammatory medications. Anti-inflammatory medications interfere with lots and lots of healthy nutrients. So taking your nutrients at different times that you take your anti-inflammatories, if you have to take them, is important. Okay? Recommended RDA dose. Remember, RDAs are the least that you need. But there's some kind of special caveats with iron. We don't want too much. Men, 8 milligrams per day. Menstruating women, up to 18 milligrams per day. And non-menstruating women, anywhere from 8 to 12 milligrams per day. Okay? So keep that in mind. It's one of the areas that we don't want to updose very often unless your doctor is watching you very closely, even in experimentation. Dr. Benzinger's advanced information: Crohn's disease. Iron deficiency has been shown to occur more often in these cases because of malabsorption that occurs from the condition and the possibility of bleeding or continued bleeding that occurs. All right? Depression. Iron deficiency has been shown to make depression worse and should be verified with blood tests before starting supplementation. But If that's a possible, just think about it. You might have had years of depression, and it might be iron deficiency anemia problems. Okay? So the conditions that this nutrient will help or hurt in your body on the left-hand side, this is what it hurts if there's too much iron. Rheumatoid arthritis, cancer, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, heart disease, liver, and infections. Makes you more susceptible. And if you don't have enough, red blood cell production, anemia, by the way, certain enzymes that produce energy in your body will be lessened. Athletes need it. Canker sores, if you have recurrent problems with B complex, can help a lot. Crohn's disease, depression, infertility, specifically in women, and heavy menstruation. So, bottom line is, iron can be good, can be bad. It's one of the things that if you're a menstruating woman or pregnant or you're on that list on the right-hand side, look into it further as to whether you have deficiency. If you have a tendency in your family to have the left-hand side, okay, right-hand side you're trying to get more supplementation, left-hand side you start looking for iron-based pipes, maybe toys that the child is playing with that might be iron loaded, paints that could be iron loaded, and start trying to find a way to eliminate that and make sure that there's no toxicity occurring, okay? Iron, important element. This is Dr. Benzinger on Health with secondopinion.org. We thank you for tuning in. We'll look for you next time. May God bless you.